Good morning. Welcome, everyone. About to kick off the Clean Energy Roadshow, and we couldn't be more pleased that you're here with us today. I'm Pam Fent. I'm from the Good Jobs and Livable Neighborhoods Project of Citizen Action of Wisconsin, and I'd like to welcome you to this opening event of Wisconsin's Clean Energy Roadshow. It's extremely fitting that we're starting here in Racine, as this community has been hit hard in our current economic downturn. Figures released last week showed the city of Racine at an official unemployment rate of 15%, up from 10% a year ago. That's why we couldn't be more excited to stand here today with our representatives from the U.S. Department of Energy, Mayor Barrett, Mayor Dickert, Judy Huffman from Senator Cole's office, and all of you in a site that clearly demonstrates how Department of Energy investments in our community are leading to sustainable jobs for our future. I'd like to thank Training Center Director and Community Leader Ola Bayewu, for hosting us here this morning, and I'd like to acknowledge Training Director Mike Cook. Mike, can you?
He's taking
Mike,
pictures.
he's taking pictures. He won't stop working. Mike, in a very short order, put together and arranged a weatherization demonstration that you'll see in just a little bit, and we thank Mike for that. The work that is going on here will prepare workers to the highest standards in this growing industry. The weatherization and retrofit industry has been seeded by federal recovery investments and will grow much larger with the Wisconsin Sustainable Jobs Act. To address you next is John Schmidt, Business Manager for the Laborers Local 113.
Thank you, Pam. Good morning, everyone. My name is John Schmidt. I'm Business Manager of Laborers Local 113 of LIUNA, which is Laborers International Union of North America. It's an honor to be here on behalf of the men and women who build and who help build Wisconsin. I would also like to thank Ola and his staff for their hospitality. LIUNA is ready and able to help support and build residential weatherization industry. We're proud to be part of this partnership to use our training programs to support contractors and meet the need for skilled workers who will get the job done right. Across the country, more than a dozen governors have adopted or are considering adopting LIUNA's weatherization training program. These are challenging times for our state and our country. We have a severe job crisis, with 9% of workers jobless in Wisconsin, with 22% of construction workers unemployed throughout the country. Working people and their families are hurting, struggling, and afraid. But from this challenge can come opportunity and the creation of a new high-road American industry. It's estimated that the average family could save $460 a year on utility bills if their homes were made energy efficient. Properly weatherizing these homes can create thousands of jobs by a conservative estimate, which can make energy-efficient homes in Wisconsin would create 6,000 steady full-time jobs for the next 10 years. In Milwaukee, Racine, throughout Wisconsin and around the country, LIUNA intends to continue to expand training to ensure quality work. We'll continue to help seek capital investment, both in the public and private sector, so it's possible to finance the work. And we'll continue to develop and support contractors so they can build the capacity to meet future demand. This is a no-brainer. We can get people back to work, into family-supporting career paths, and that's the key, career, while helping to free our country from foreign energy sources, save homeowners money, and protect the environment. Thank you.
Next, State Representative Corey Mason will present the Wisconsin Sustainable Jobs Act.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Just a housekeeping note before we get started. If you have a cell phone that has a ringer on, if you could please turn it to vibrate or off, that would be great. Good morning, everyone. My name is State Representative Corey Mason. I represent the Racine community in the state legislature, and I am delighted to be here today. This is the result of over a year's worth of work. There are a couple of thank yous that I want to talk about, though. First and foremost, to Ola. I work with Ola on the I-94 Labor Development Committee, and I know that he and the staff here at First Choice Pre-Apprenticeship are deeply committed to getting people into family-supporting jobs and into apprenticeships that will lead to careers. So it is really fitting that if we're going to be anywhere in Racine, we're right here at First Choice Pre-Apprenticeship. I'd also like to thank organized labor, particularly the laborers and IBEW, who've been real advocates in getting us to where we are today. And I'd also like to thank Center on Wisconsin Strategies for the advice and counsel that they've given that we've been searching on this. So today, I am proud to announce that I'll be introducing the Wisconsin Sustainable Jobs Act. This bill is going to do three very important things. First and foremost, it is going to produce hundreds, potentially thousands of family-supporting jobs right here in Wisconsin. Secondly, it's going to save people money on their energy bills. And third, it's going to protect the environment by reducing our carbon footprint. Three goals that we should all widely share and fully embrace, especially, as has been mentioned before, in Racine, a community with 15% unemployment. I know when I knock on doors and talk to people in coffee shops, the number one issue I hear about over and over again is jobs. What are we going to do to bring jobs back to this community? And this is a great step forward to making jobs a reality right here in Racine, Wisconsin. So I want to talk a little bit about what the bill does in terms of jobs, saving energy, and impact on the environment. First of all, this bill will leverage literally billions of dollars in public and private dollars for retrofitting, as the laborers described it. I want to say that again. This will leverage billions of dollars for retrofitting right here in Wisconsin. What does that mean? Well, roughly, the estimates are for every $100 million worth of investment you do, it results in 330 full-time jobs. Here in Wisconsin, we know that there are more than $2 million structures that need retrofitting. I'll say that again. There's more than 2 million structures, 1.9 million of them homes, that could benefit from energy efficiency and retrofitting. This bill would make us one of the first states to capture and use very efficiently these energy efficiency grants from the stimulus. And it's also unique in that it authorizes private utilities to capitalize these projects and get people back to work. Most importantly for jobs, though, is it connects the dots between the energy efficiency we're trying to obtain and jobs, careers and jobs. So instead of just putting money out there to be invested and it might create a year's worth of work or a summer's worth of work, we're doing it the right way here in Wisconsin. We're investing in training, we're investing in apprenticeship, and we're investing in careers that will lead not just to a year's worth of work with the stimulus money, but a lifetime's worth of work through a revolving loan fund that will be available from the stimulus dollars. It's a critically important piece. How does this save energy, you might ask? Well, right now, when we ask people to do an energy audit of their home, the average cost that comes back is about $6,500. So you ask somebody to come into your home, say, how could I make my home more energy efficient? And the auditor will tell you on average, well, $6,500 would go a long way to save you a lot of energy, about $460 to $480 a year, as we've heard. Most people right now, though, in this economy, don't have $6,500 laying around. So what we do that is critically important here is we let homeowners and utility users finance that over time with a no-interest loan or a low-interest loan from a city or a utility to get the work done so that they can get the work done up front, see the energy savings right away, and pay it back over time. That's what's different and new here. So, for example, We Energies, which services the area that we're in right now, if the federal climate change bill were to pass, they would invest $2 billion in weatherization work right here in Wisconsin. That's a substantial increase in investment and can make a big difference. The other thing that I want to mention is this is called the Wisconsin Sustainable Jobs Act, and we use the word sustainable for a reason. One, of course, is the reason that everybody thinks of when you hear sustainability, and that's environmental sustainability. And it certainly does that. It reduces the cost of and the use of energy. But the other reason it's sustainable is because it's capturing those federal dollars and letting us use it through a revolving loan fund that will allow this program to be sustainable over time. And then lastly, it's going to reduce the carbon footprint here in the state, a goal that we all share in the midst of addressing the climate change issue, but it does it in a smart and consistent way that is going to put people back to work Again, not just for a year, not just for one-time funding, but into real building trades jobs that are family-supporting jobs. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Pam, and I'll happily answer any questions at the end of the press conference. Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from City of Racine Mayor John Dickert.
Good morning, and thank you for coming. And I want to thank Ola personally. He does an amazing job because he puts people back to work. He trains them, then he gets them back to work. And then he doesn't stop there because he keeps pushing to make sure that they're being hired in the jobs that they need. I want to thank the Department of Energy for everything that they've done. And all I'm going to do today is give you two examples of what we're doing in the city of Racine and what these legislators are doing, because we're working smarter. Everyone asks us what we're doing as legislators. We're working smarter. And that's the key. First example, the city of Racine had a variety of housing projects all over the city. We're consolidating those projects. And everybody says, well, why would you consolidate? We're doing that because instead of working on 1 or 2 homes at a time, we want to work on 10 or 20 homes at a time. Not just with energy efficiency, but also with modernizing them, rehabbing them, or knocking them down, create better, more sustainable neighborhoods. Why? Because then we give our brothers and sisters out there who want to work an opportunity to bid on those houses and that work that they've never been able to do in the past. So getting smarter about working to make sure that these people have a chance to go to work and bid on those projects that they've never done. Now, the other thing that we're looking at and why we want to thank the Department of Energy is recently they gave us a grant for energy efficiency. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why the Racine area and the Wisconsin legislators that are here today are thinking smarter. We took that money, we went down the road to Root Electric, bought energy-efficient LED lighting. We took IBEW workers that were on the bench and not working, and they're installing those lights around Racine in some of the toughest areas that we have. Why? It's a greater light, it gives us 5 times more life, and I save 40% in electric bills. We're saving taxpayer dollars. We're utilizing money in the best, most efficient way possible, and we're putting our brothers and sisters back to work. That's what this is all about. Working and being smarter with every dollar that we have, because the fact is we're getting less and less every day. I want to thank everybody who's here. I want to thank everyone who has been working and trying and staying with us through this difficult process, because the reality is these legislators, we're all thinking smarter, working harder for you, because we want you back to work. We want that 15% down to 3%. And we want to do it fast. So thank you, everyone who showed up today, and thank you for everything that you're doing, because we have work to do. Let's get to work.
Now we will hear from City of Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett.
Thank you very much, Pam. Ola, thank you for opening up your home to the men and women from LiUNA, John Schmidt, Mayor Corey. Thank you all for being here this morning. This is something that's very, very important. I want to acknowledge Gil Sperling from the Department of Energy as well for being here. One of the things that the Obama administration has made very clear to us is that although it is really putting out huge amounts of money, it's not doing so as a gamble. It's not doing so as a gamble. It's doing so to improve the quality of life in this country and to get this economy moving. But even though it's not a gamble, what we are witnessing today is truly winning the trifecta. Because what we have here are wins on 3 significant fronts. By having programs like the program we're talking about here today, what we are doing is we are allowing people to make their homes more energy efficient, thereby allowing them to save more on their energy bills. That's win number 1. Win number 2, men and women who are here today. I love this sign. If you could take a step to the left to show you exactly why we're here. We want more men and women to be at work. That's what this is all about. We are trying to put people to work, whether it's in Racine with 15% unemployment, whether it's Milwaukee, whether it's Wausau. We want to put people to work. That's what this is all about, is creating jobs. That's win number 2. Win number 3 is the last time I checked, there were no oil wells or coal mines in the state of Wisconsin. That means that every dollar that we're spending on our energy in the traditional energy ways is money that's leaving this state and is using precious resources that this planet doesn't have enough of, and is sending money oftentimes that countries that can't stand us to begin with. So by having programs like this, we're lowering the amount of energy that we're importing to this state, and that's win number 3. So any way you look at this, you can take your pick. We're winning by working together, and it's the partnerships that have been created with labor, with community groups, with religious groups, with the federal government, the state government, the local government. All of these coming together is what's allowing us, I think, to have some hope at a time when people really need hope. So I'm very, very pleased to be here. We're excited in Milwaukee with our ME2 program. We're excited about working with Racine and Madison and applying for even more federal assistance. And we know we can put this money to work and put people back to work. Thank you.
Now we're going to hear a little bit more about the vision and the goals of the Clean Energy Roadshow from Mr. Gil Sperling. Mr. Sperling is Senior Advisor to the Assistant Secretary for the U.S. Department of Energy.
Thank you, Pam. Mayor Barrett, Mayor Dickert, Assemblyman Mason, thank you for allowing us here. To everybody out there, it is an absolute pleasure to be here on behalf of Secretary Chu and Assistant Secretary for Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy, Kathy Zoy. There is nothing more important we do than trying to put people to work. That is the number one item. The President's State of the Union made that absolutely clear. And when you think about sort of the trifecta, think about what this means. For energy efficiency, saving homeowners and business owners money. Well, what do they do with that money? They reinvest that money in the community. So folks in Racine who have their energy bills lowered as a result of the weatherization program, as a result of energy efficiency programs, put it back into the stores, the restaurants, all of the ventures that's going to help Racine grow. The folks who get new jobs through this program, through the funding that we've provided, those salaries are also invested back in Racine. So if you look at the combination of job creation and energy savings, I dare say that what we have is the largest economic development program the city of Racine has probably ever seen in terms of the opportunity to grow this community, and that's going to help sustain for the future. Let me try to put this into a little bit of perspective. We experienced a 5.7% growth in GDP in the last quarter of 2009. And lots of news about the astonishing rate of growth of the economy in this recession. Well, let's put that in perspective. It'll take 4 years of that kind of growth to put 10 million people back to work, just for us to get back to where we were before we came into this recession. So we have a challenge in front of us that is unlike any challenge we've ever seen. And so the President responded to that, and the Congress responded to that with the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. The decision was made, we need to put money into the economy so we can grow jobs and stimulate, and we can move forward. In our Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy, $16.8 billion. Now, we usually have a budget of a little over $2 billion. $16.8 billion we were given to manage in the Recovery Act. $11.6 billion of that is in weatherization, the State Energy Program, and the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant. That is the largest single investment in energy efficiency at one time in the history of the United States. And it's good to see that that's beginning to go to work. It's great to see everybody here. We're starting to move. But critically and more important is how do we use those funds to be a foundation? We do not want to get to the end of the Recovery Act and have people lose jobs. So how do we grow this? And that's what the Clean Energy Roadshow is all about. If you look at the total amount of investment that's needed to make our country more efficient, to grow renewable energy, to transform away from dependence on fossil fuels and all of the negative consequences, the investment is in the trillions and trillions of dollars. This is not a surprise, what I'm about to say to anybody. There's not enough taxpayer dollars, there's not enough ratepayer dollars to do that. If we depend solely on government to be the source of funds to make this transformation that we have to achieve, to make this transformation happen, we're not going to get there. So the only way this works is if we use those public monies wisely, if we use ratepayer dollars wisely, and we leverage what the private sector can do. Now, the good news is the private sector spends about $1.5 trillion a year on buildings. Buildings use 70% of the electricity in the United States. 80% of the carbon emissions related to climate change come from the energy sector. So for the private sector, this level of investment we need is not a major challenge. This is kind of in the standard. But we have so badly created and split up energy markets in this country. So you go to the state level and you have the public utility commissions. You go to the federal level, you have the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. The local level, you have building codes. We are so across the board in terms of the infrastructure that will support the private investment, and it's disaggregated and it's disharmonious. So the Roadshow brings together, and we're delighted to be a part of it and be an invited guest, brings together the private sector. So I want to thank the Clean Economy Network for the work they've done. Organized labor, I want to thank LIUNA and thank Change to Win. We bring together those who have been advocating on behalf of our environment, on behalf of energy efficiency, the Sierra Club and others, in a partnership. We bring some of the leading providers of services, Conservation Services Group, largest not-for-profit energy efficiency company in America. And then the Department of Energy joins. Now what we do is we meet with our counterparts, because the only way we can move to the sustainable investment, the only way the Recovery Act becomes a foundation, is for a collaboration that I call unique in American history. It is for the federal government, state government, and local governments to get the policies right, to make private investment happen, and then work with the private sector. So the ability to grow the workforce, to have training facilities like this, to be able to leverage funds to move forward is absolutely essential. So I'm delighted to be here. We have a great challenge on our hands. The partnership that we're building here in Racine and building in Wisconsin, I am confident. You have in this state some of the absolute intellectual powerhouses. I know Joel Rogers is here from the University of Wisconsin or from the Cows Project. We were here early last year with Secretary Chu. It was his first trip as Secretary of Energy. We met with Governor Doyle, Mayor Barrett. We had a little efficiency roundtable, and one of the just stunning, great conversations about what we can do to help people, how we can put the repayment obligation on a utility bill, how we can put it on property taxes, how we can use revolving loan funds, what we can do to leverage all of that savings so we can make it affordable for people. So the Roadshow is going to continue. We're going to hit every state in the country. We're going to try to build these collaborations. It's the Clean Energy Roadshow. It's more than just building retrofits. We're going to talk about wind and solar and geothermal and all the incredible things that we can do and build for the future. So thank you.
So we're here at First Choice Pre-Apprenticeship doing some of the training that would occur under the Wisconsin Sustainable Jobs Act. As you can see, we've got a mock-up here of some of the insulating or replacing of windows that would occur under the energy efficiency block grants we would get from the public stimulus dollars, but then also from the private leveraging dollars as well. This is a bill that has the potential to put thousands of people to work doing the work like you see right behind me here, insulating attics, replacing windows, replacing water heaters. Really a great opportunity to turn the economy around for a place like Racine that's been hit hard by unemployment.